Well, we're back with Paul Swingle from Swingle and Associates, and if you want to get hold of Paul, it's 604-608-0444. If you happen to be watching now, we're live on Wednesday night, March 25th. You can give us a call right now at 1-866-980-0499. Now, one of the things we were in his office, by the way, is down at 1190 Melville Street, which is in downtown Vancouver. And we're going to talk about adoption and oppositional behavior and so on. But I've got a thing here about the benefits of brainwave treatment with the adopted child. And as Paul says, she came hopping into my office, jumped into the chair. He actually always said this, behind my desk, and started twirling herself around, watching to see if her mother or I would react. Her mother was about to admonish Susie, but saw that I was smiling and extending my hand to her daughter. Pumpkin, sit here, I said, pointing to some chairs on the other side of my desk. Susie ran to the other chair while giggling, "You're a cucumber." So I take it Susie was an adopted child, and
That's
we
right.
didn't know that when you first made that comment.
Mm-hmm.
So what is, I can remember thinking I was adopted, and I decided I wasn't adopted because I got enough facts and figures just to figure out that I wasn't. But then I found out my father wasn't my father, which is a whole other story, right? What's the problem with an adopted child? Because all children aren't adopted or don't have a problem.
No. We're talking about a situation in which the child is aware of the fact that they've been adopted. And you can be Nobel laureate parents. You're going to have attachment and abandonment issues with the child, with an adopted child. I mean, it just comes with the territory. The reason that neurotherapy can be very helpful here is the child comes with predispositions. Now, the second example in that you read, the first child came in bopping in, trying to be a little pesty. The second child that I mentioned here, exactly the same racial group, same age, same environment, adopted out of similar conditions. She came in holding her mother so tight her mother could hardly breathe, and frightened, terrified. You would think that they had entirely different kinds of experiences, but they hadn't. What was different were the brain predispositions. One child had a severe deficiency in stress tolerance area, and that was what was giving rise to her reaction to the trauma she had experienced. Both of the children had trauma experiences. They were adopted out of orphanages in a country in which they had been through horrific things.
Well, I have two adopted cousins, and one of them is desperately seeking their birth mother, and the other one could care less.
Right.
And for years, for about 14 years, we ran a database that helped Alzheimer's patients, and then we had another one that was Kid Find, and we had another one that was Parent Finders. And everybody, all my relatives who knew that my father was my father, thought that my Parent Finder stuff was something to do with trying to find my father. I didn't have a clue. It was until an aunt told me, and trying to explain the Second World War situation, and I thought it was sort of cool. So kids can have a total different reaction.
Absolutely.
To what happens. So what can you do? I've got a child that's desperately seeking their mother. I'm not trying to get the child to stop seeking their mother. And I got to tell you a story that's really funny. And I'll use the names Betty and Simone. When we were doing Parent Finders, I got a call from Simone, we'll say. And Simone told me that, I've been looking for my mother for all this time. She said, I have spent the last 5 years, she worked for the motor vehicle branch in Victoria, and she spent most of the 5 years before having lunch with Betty. And guess who her mother was?
Yes.
Betty. And when Simone found out her mother was Betty, and they're sitting down at lunch, she says, you've been wondering about that daughter you gave up. They never put the birth dates together. That daughter you gave up for adoption, and yes, and she says, well, it's me. And Betty promptly had a heart attack. It's pretty extreme reaction, I think, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
So what do you do? I mean, I don't want to stop Betty or Simone from looking for a mother or Brian from looking for his father or whatever.
Oh, it has nothing at all to do with that.
So
what it has to do with is how the child responds to the experience of adoption and the experience of trauma and the experience of abandonment, or their feelings of abandonment. And if a child has a predisposition to poor regulation of the social skills area, for example, they may well develop an oppositional behavior as a
so
coping
oppositional
mechanism.
can be part of the adoption.
It's the adoption is the environmental event that turns the key on the neurological predisposition. That's
Okay,
really
so this
what
is
we're
like
talking
you're
about.
talking about where you got these 19 brainwaves, and if this one goes like that, you got
That's
a predisposition.
correct.
And
Sure.
you can tell, you can look at somebody who's not an alcoholic and tell, you sort of be careful because you might become one, or can you turn that predisposition off?
Well, oh yes, you can modify that. I have a lot of experiences with that, and it's very interesting. I'll see something that looks like there's a severe deficiency in the back of the brain, which is the genetic marker for predisposition to addictive or self-medicating behavior. And I'll say to a person, "You have any trouble with alcohol?" And they'll say no. And then about a minute later, they'll say, "You know, my father was an alcoholic, and I've been very vigilant because I really feel vulnerable."
Well,
Okay. So what they've done is they have recognized that pattern in their family, and because of the vigilance, they've recognized it in themselves. So, no, they don't have any trouble with alcohol, and the reason for that is because
watching.
they're watching.
Okay. Well, that's likely why I don't drink much, and it's likely why I've never smoked. Because my father drank too much, and the man who raised me, wonderful fellow Arnold, and the one thing I regret is that he died before I found out, and I never had a chance to say thank you to this man who came back from in the Second World War from the army overseas in England and accepted me as his son. And in Ontario, in Ontario in 1945, there were 22,000 delayed births. 22,000 delayed births while they waited for the servicemen to come back from the war and accept or deny paternity. In other words, they didn't, not delayed birth registrations. In Spencer's department store, downtown Vancouver, had 5 women whose sole job in the 7-story department store was to deal, this is in the Second World War, was to deal with the pregnant women whose husbands were in the army and overseas. They had a whole department set up. We do. Who are we talking
Are you
about?
there? Hello?
Hello? Where we lost them, or
No, we might have lost him.
do we have to phone back? It'd be a shame to get a call and we can't get them on the air. We got buttons and stuff to talk.
Hello? You still there? Just hang on a second.
We're trying to get you on the air, but we have a technical difficulty. And